Hey, boy, you ready to get me started? All right. With my theme music. Hey, that ain't. Okay. There it is.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego kidnapping. We do so because the chain of impression is more so deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm your third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs, right here on the Advocacy Education Station. Yes, indeed. All right. What's going on today? Public service announcement. It is Saturday, September the 18th. From noon to 7 p.m., the 25th Annual African American Family Festival and A Taste of Africa. Right here in Wilmington, Delaware at Holloway Park. That's at 7th and Lombard Streets. What's going on? Drum call, African libation, African drumming. Remarks from Michelle Harley and Xanthia Oliver from City Council. Open mic for local rappers, spoken word, and poetry. Memorial concert in recognition of the 65th anniversary of the death of Clifford Brown, featuring Tony Big Cat Smith and friends. That's Tony Big Cat Smith, premier trumpet player, student of Boise Lowry, right here in Wilmington, Delaware, dancing in the grass to the music of the Full Effect Band. Especially for children, moonbound slide, face painting, popcorn, cotton candy, snowballs, and extras. There be COVID vaccinations, voter registration, food and non-food vendors. This is sponsored by the Afro-American Historical Society, the Delaware Africa Coalition, and Eastside Pride. We matter. This program is supported in part by a grant from the Delaware Division of Arts, a state agency in partnership with the National Endowment for the Arts. And make sure that's today at 12. And that's Holloway Park at 7th and Lombard. And make sure you make it on around there, because guess what? You might meet some of your favorite personalities from WHGE 95.3 FM. Yes, sir. Hey, Nina, I see you, baby. I see you, princess. Greetings. Grand Rising, sister. Okay, let's get it started. Excuse me while I look through my paper for a second here, because it's something I want to get to. Oh, I hope I didn't read that. I better not have. All right. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. All right, I want to start off today. First of all, let me tell you, WHGE 95.3, you can call us. That's right, at 844-944-3953. Yes, indeed. I'm going to start off today with a little history, right? In 1957. Well, let me ask you this first. Do you know when and who recorded the first African American protest song? Do you know? Yeah, we're going to get to that a little bit later and what have you, but here's a hint. First of all, I'm going to tell you it was recorded in 1928. In 1957, Louis Armstrong, in his hotel room in Grand Forks, North Dakota, blew his top over the Little Rock Central High School integration crisis, blasted Governor Orville Faubus for being two-faced, and President Dwight Eisenhower for having no guts to let fathers call in the National Guard to prevent black students from integrating to high school. The way they are treating my people in the South, the government can go to hell. It's getting so bad a colored man hasn't got any country. That's what Louis Armstrong said. For all those that thought that Louis Armstrong was a Sambo or a coon, Armstrong put his entire career on the line to speak out against injustice, as his September 17th North Dakota comments made headlines around the world. However, a recently discovered private reel-to-reel tape owned by Armstrong found the trumpeter venting about fathers and the Little Rock situation to interviewers on September 8th and September 10th. He had spent over a week telling anyone who would listen about the injustice going on in Little Rock. But it wasn't until reporter Larry Lubino of North Dakota ran with Armstrong's September 17th comments that the story really blew up. Armstrong received little support at the time, instead getting more criticism from both the white and black press. Today, his stance is celebrated as a landmark moment in civil rights. He knew what he had done. He cut out various clippings about the incident, wrapped them in Scotch tape, and stuck them in a scrapbook. This is Armstrong's copy of a Pittsburgh, I have a copy of the Pittsburgh Courier story about his Little Rock comments, containing some of his most fierce statements. We're glad he saved it, and we're glad he spoke out. Thanks, Pops. For those that don't know, yes, those that had love for Louis Armstrong and knew him for who he was and what have you, and his fans and and admirers called him Pops, not Satchmo. Satchmo was the mainstream nickname for Louis Armstrong. All right, stick with some history. Did you know? I might have told you this last week, but in case I didn't, did you know Abubakar II, the Mariner Prince of Mali, traveled to America in 1311 and traded with indigenous people? He never claimed to discover America because he already knew it was there. Yes, indeed. The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. That's right. Founders and builders of the Pearl Center, Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over Delaware.
Any content provided by Open Eyes hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to belong to any
All right.
ethnic group, company, or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM. This is Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist right here on the Open Eye, soon to be joined by my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma, our intellectual surgeon. If Africans and their diaspora were truly inferior, it would be unnecessary to rewrite their history, obfuscate their accomplishments, and work for 400 years to limit their future. The inferiority is a myth, for those of you that did not know. You know, what we're dealing with. What's wrong with the U.S.? Okay, I compare the U.S. to their own brothers in Europe, who have social democracies, and the U.S. is not the country that's purported to be the land of dreams and what have you. That's been over a long time ago. Look, for instance, in Norway, elections are 74% government funded. Political advertising on TV and radio is banned. It take the profit out, see. And voter turnout is at 81%. It's ranked 15th highest in the world. Meanwhile, in the U.S., elections are 80% funded by corporations. If your campaign is funded by a corporation and you get up talking all this smack about what you're going to do for people, you full of beep. Because it's funded by corporations and the super wealthy, much of it for negative TV and radio advertising, and voter turnout, 48%. Ranked 120th out of 169 countries. See, the thing is, you need to take the dollars out of these elections. That's why you have people in Congress 90 years old still getting paid by lobbyists and corporations and what have you. There needs to be a change. See, the elections, like they do in Norway, should be government funded. Take the power away from the corporations, because what we actually have is a government or a corporation, because the U.S. is a corporation, that's funded by other corporations. And who the hell do you think they are going to vote to benefit for when they're in Congress? What laws do you think they're going to pass that's going to actually benefit the average working man? You can forget that. You know what that's called? When you have a small group that are controlling the government, it's called an oligarchy. They give a damn about us. Jeez, wake up, y'all. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Whoa. You know, this next one coming up here. There. Okay. Congress can stop this vicious cycle of debt-based poverty. Driver's license suspensions are bad for communities, the economy, and public safety. All right? See, a lot of municipalities, cities, and towns and what have you, they depend on visitors coming through. They catch them driving and ticket them and get some money. That's just one part of it. On any given day across the country, millions of Americans have had their driver's license suspended. And not because of unsafe driving or other safety concerns, but because of government-imposed debt they can't afford to pay. So see, driving is seen not as a right, but as a privilege. So they take that privilege when you owe the courts and this, that, and the other for whatever reason. That's how you get debt-based poverty. Doesn't have to be this way. State and local governments can and must end taxation by citation. And right now, Congress has a chance to help them do it. Taxation by citation. That's what helps keep poor people poor. You get a fine, they tax your wages and all kind of crap, child support, whatever. The Driving for Opportunity Act, introduced by Delaware Senator Chris Coons and Roger Wicker, a Republican. Coons is a Democrat. A Republican out of Mississippi is a bipartisan, legislation that provides grants to states that do not suspend, revoke, or refuse to renew driver's license of a person or registration of a motor vehicle for failure to pay a civil or criminal fine or fee. See, when your driver's license is suspended and you depend on your car to get to work, that just perpetuates the cycle. Now you can't get to work, or you got to catch the bus, you know. Many times people in these situations lose their job. Now you're more in debt on these fines and what have you, and you ain't got no driver's license. The Driving for Opportunity Act. By helping states cover the cost of reinstating driver's licenses previously suspended for unpaid fines and fees, the Driving for Opportunity Act would encourage states to do the right thing, and it would give millions of Americans the opportunity to have their driving privileges restored. Right now, the bill is awaiting action by the Senate Judiciary Committee, and there's no time to waste. Taxation by citation is a pernicious system. It works like this. State and local governments create frivolous regulations as predatory money-making schemes to fund government services. For instance, nuisance regulations like loitering, beautification regulations like lawn maintenance requirements, traffic regulations like bans on tinted windows and such crap, or quality of life regulations like bans on sleeping in public. Now that's a real heavy one right there, sleeping in public. You can get caught sleeping on a park bench, or, and this has happened several times, as a black person, sleeping in your car, the cops roll up on you, you ain't got to worry about no fine, you ain't got to worry about, taxation by citation. You ain't got to worry about that as a black person sleeping in your car. Because we've had several incidents where the police rolled up and shot someone for sleeping in their car, murdered them. For sleeping in their car. The sheer number of regulations which have no bearing at all on public safety make it very likely that someone will run afoul of one of the many finable offenses at some point in time, especially if they live in black and brown communities where they are subjected to over-policing. A person in violation of any of these unnecessary codes is then slapped with a fine and a bevy of administrative fees, which can then escalate into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You make it $12 an hour, and you get a fine for a tinted window, or you loitered, or, and of course we know that's biscuit sauce. Loitering is one of the most BS charges you can get. And then you're stuck with thousands of dollars of fines for something that they did that really isn't even a crime. It's just crap, man. When that person can't afford to pay their debt, the government suspends their driver's license. This exposes them to even harsher penalties, including arrest and incarceration. Oh yeah, when you can't pay your fines, they will lock your ass up. See, this is why cops want to roll up on people for no damn reason and then run their ID. Yeah, I seen a brother, he was a lawyer, taking out his trash. And the cops came up and wanted to run his ID. He was a lawyer, he knew the law, and he said, no, I showed you my ID, I'm taking out my trash. This is where I live, this is our dumpster. But they was going to run his ID. But you know what? And he stood up to him. And he told him, no, here, give me my ID. I have done nothing wrong. I'm under suspicion of nothing other than taking out the trash. Yeah, well, the cops are good. They're like magicians. They're good at distraction. One cop distracted him with the argument while the other cop wrote down his information and gave back his ID. As soon as they got away from him, they ran his damn ID anyway. And what happens when you got to get to work, or you got to deal with family issues, grocery shopping, getting kids to school, and what have you? You get arrested for driving on a suspended license. A recent ACLU report documents the pervasive practice of using driver's license suspension as a consequence for unpaid fines and fees. These burdens are borne disproportionately by black and brown communities, fueling a vicious cycle of poverty and criminalization. Excuse me. The fact is that most of America driving isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The majority of people living in the U.S. don't have access to public transportation and rely on driving to get to work, school, religious services, court obligations, and medical appointments. People whose licenses have been suspended are often left with no choice but to drive and risk criminal consequences, making it even more difficult for them to pay off their debt. But they do, and it's nonsensical and counterproductive. State and local governments should not be funding their operations through law enforcement, period. But they do. And it's nonsensical and counterproductive. First, debt-based license suspension is not an effective collection tool. Taking away people's ability to get to work doesn't make it just harder for them to pay off their initial debt, but it also has ripple effects throughout the economy, reducing family incomes and destabilizing communities. That's right. Instead of protecting public safety, debt-based license suspensions undermine it by diverting resources away from important community services and priorities. In 2019, Minneapolis City Attorney Mary Ellen Hayne told the Minnesota legislature that her prosecutors spent about 30% of their time enforcing these suspensions that have no bearing on public safety. None. Has no bearing on public safety. Worst of all, using courts and law enforcement officers as debt collectors enables over-criminalization and exacerbates racist policing practices. In Texas, for instance, boy, 95% of arrest warrants issued in 2016 were for unpaid fines and fees, and more than 640,000 people were jailed as a result. 640,000 people. That's more people that was in jail in the whole of the United States like in 1965. You know, Texas is talked about succeed from the government. Sometimes I think they already did, and they are the lone Confederate state. In Durham, Durham County in North Carolina, 80% of those with suspended licenses were people of color. Imagine that. Mostly black Americans, and the average time they had lived without a license was 11 years. In New York City, where driving on a suspended license was the fourth most charged crime in 2018, 76% of drivers are white, yet 80% of people arrested for driving on suspended license in 2018 were black or Latinx, according to the Fines and Fees Justice Center. For black and brown communities, the practice of debt-based license suspension can be deadly. Yeah. What's up, Nsoromma? How you doing, brother? Gotta turn your mic up here. All right.
Yeah. Good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
Chop. Good morning, world. Good, you know what I'm saying?
That's the
about 22 jobs.
Yeah, I feel you.
What's good, though? I heard you coming in there.
Yeah, I'm on this thing. Look, push the Congress to pass this bill and make it law. Okay, because this is just ridiculous. And I could go on and on with that.
And what bill was that?
Okay, let me bring it back here.
Which bill you want they pushing?
I want them to push the Driving for Opportunity Act. Okay?
Driving for Opportunity Act.
That's right.
And what is it now?
And what that will do is stop all these egregious fines and taking people's driver's license for not being able to pay their fine.
I know that's a
That's crazy. You know, they take their license and then they can't get the back and forth to work, and then
Right.
they lose their house and stuff like that.
Exactly.
The government is the setup, man. They are really not for the American people, man, like they supposed to be. So
No.
it is crazy.
It is, man.
Messy, as I say. Messy.
Absolutely
Dig me?
nuts. Yes, I do, brother. Oh, we got some stuff we're going to hit on here
What
today,
you got, bro? What you got?
Oh, I got something for you. But before I do that, I'm going to give us a little station break here. Get something going here. Let's see what we got. There. All right.
What up, Vaughn? What up, Nina? You know what I'm saying? You see how it go. It's about to get popping.
Oh, yeah.
It's about to get popping.
Yeah, popping.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. And for you that don't know, that's my city by Nsoromma.
Yeah, violence is taking over our city. And it's through the violence of the people that's out on the street and the violence of the government. So we gotta be prepared and be careful. So what's good? Hit us up. You know what I'm saying? Talk to us. Bring in the conversation. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah, I got. You know what it is. Nsoromma streaming on platforms. What's up, Mr. Gibbs?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Cool,
That's
man,
my
cool.
city by Nsoromma, for those of you that didn't know.
True.
That's where I gotta get this in, because I promised you, brother, I will quote him.
Get it in.
All right, and I've talked about it before. How did Latinos become Catholics? By the sword. How did black people become Christian? By the whip. How did Afghans, Persians, Indians, Turks, Kurds, Moors, Africans become Muslim? By the sword. Yeah, they did. Brother Mike Woodall said, that's all true, brother. All of them profess to be of peace, but they are all chained with swords and guns, all of them. You will see the same among Hindus and Buddhists. Brother Woodall said, let me tell you something. If left to the people that were conquered into these religions and what have you,
Right.
if they were left to decide for themselves, there would be 5 Christians, 4 Catholics, 6 Muslims on the earth. That's real talk.
And one Jesus.
That's word.
And one Jesus.
And one Jesus. And one Jesus.
Oh,
Don't get
oh my
that
God.
mixed.
Miss Hughes, hello. What's up? I haven't heard from you. You okay?
Yeah, buddy. You know, where is it? Right.
But
Okay, the problem, and we talk about it all the time,
right.
education.
Yeah, man.
The problem is not that people are uneducated.
Right.
The problem is that they are educated just enough to
be
believe,
dumb.
to believe what they've been taught.
Right.
And not educated enough to question what they've been taught.
Or to know no better.
Or to know any better.
Now tell me how can a person stay brainwashed like that?
Oh,
With all the evidence and with all the technology you have out here now, how can you still be so brainwashed?
Yeah.
You don't do no research. You don't want to better yourself. You don't want to understand that you are an individual brain. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to fill it up. So you let's stop being puppets, man.
Really? Kick it.
Yo, we really gotta stop being puppets and being controlled. And yo, Pat, get him.
My mother taught me
What?
that most people are too lazy or afraid to learn anything beyond what they've been told.
Wow.
And she told me that starting in my teenage years.
Right, like 15, 13 years
Yeah.
old, you learning stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean,
You know? Because she wanted to make sure that I had the courage
right.
to
That's
learn
where it
and do
begins.
research. Yep.
The courage and the
courage.
want to be inquisitive and want to know and want to know the truth. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
right.
I mean, some of us just love the lies because they liars.
Yeah.
Liars love lies. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
And that's why you get situations like this.
Right.
They didn't call the $1 trillion Wall Street bailout socialism. They don't call nearly $1 trillion in oil and gas subsidies socialism. They don't call the billions in farmer bailouts. And don't get it mixed. When I say farmer bailouts, don't get it mixed. I don't mean those private farmers, family farms, black farmers whose farms have been in their families for generations, and white farmers who have now come in competition with corporate farming. That's who the hell I'm talking about.
And corporate farming is also trying to buy out all the little people. Like, don't raise no crops.
Yep.
We'll pay you not to raise crops. Now, how that sound?
How that
We'll
sound?
pay you not to raise crops so the world can eat. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But check it.
Right.
Health care, wages,
Right.
food for poor people. Oh, that's communism. That's socialism. You know? And the socialism by people who jump up and say this crap don't even know what the hell socialism is because they are goddamn socialists walking around with their social security card. Dumbass.
Walking around with their social security card.
With the social security card, complaining about socialism. Same damn people out there. They just get up on TV talking about it's too many people on food stamps, and then run down to the grocery store
And pay for the food with
pay
their
with food with their food
with
stamps.
food stamps.
The hell? I seen an older brother said black people need to get off of food stamps. They're just making them on the plantation and they're making them too dependent. And at the time, I was on food stamps.
But not only that, it's more white people on food stamps than black people.
Yeah, exactly.
They give it to them before they give it to us.
yeah,
They got
yeah.
a problem giving us anything free for the government.
You can believe
They
that.
will always take you through the ringer to give you $3 worth of food stamps.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? So
Yep.
most of black people don't even go get it because of that.
Because
so,
of that. I
you
seen
know,
a brother, he told me they gave him $16 a month.
Right, what is $16 a month going to do for a grown man that need everything?
You know?
Come on, man.
What he gonna-
And he was a veteran, I bet you. He got
First of all, we got to realize that we got the power. See, when you sit around a table, right, and that table is balanced on the backs of people, all you got to do is stand up.
right.
Stand up. And the game is over. Okay? But the thing is, you got so many brainwashed people
Right.
who will vote against their own damn interests.
Right.
Right?
That's crazy.
It is. You know, Brother Jagea, I don't know if he tuned in, but he'll catch the show. He posted this, the five of Orwell's worst nightmares come
Right.
true. The first one, that we already mentioned.
What?
They dumb down the public education system.
Oh, definitely.
The
Especially in
sec-
American public education
Yes.
system. They want to create slaves.
That's it. That's what you're being. You're being indoctrinated,
Right.
institutionalized.
Yep.
When bells ring, let me tell you, I've been
Bamboozle.
Yep.
Ragamuffin. Let it straight. You ain't finished it. You ain't
Lord
finished.
mercy.
Alright.
I go to prison to visit and find veterans.
Right.
And one of the things that I always notice
What?
are bells ringing when it's time to do a certain thing. That sound familiar? See, that comes from school. In school, the bell rings, it's time to go to class. The bell rings, it's time to go to lunch. The bell rings, it's time to go home to the library.
Right. That bell controls a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it damn sure do. You know? Now, we've been socially engineered
Right.
by Hollywood movies, pop culture music, and TV programs. That's why when I was coming up, it was called The Idiot Box. I can hear my mom now. Turn that TV off and get that book. We've been drugged, brainwashed, and robbed by Big Pharma and the American healthcare racket. Yo, brother.
Right.
If there's a brother out there and you've been out on the corner, I don't come hard on anybody's hustle because people got to feed their families, got to do what they got to do.
Right.
But you out there grinding, and you've been doing the same grinding for 10 years, find another job.
I mean, first of all, a real hustler know that you can't grind without a job.
How about that?
It's just that simple. Them two go together.
Word.
So if you got a job, you will find that it ain't no time to grind.
How about that?
So
How
you
about
won't
that?
be grinding.
That's right.
And that's the whole key about, getting in perspective and what you have to do to better your family. And it's always getting a job. First of all, you have to get that job, man. Or that career, or that trade. Whatever it may be, you got to step up and play your part right first. And then when you try to do some old illegal stuff, maybe you can do it then. But doing illegal by itself, or just out there because you the man, yeah, you going down, bro.
Yeah, buddy.
You going down, bro.
Listen,
you going down.
See, we've been tricked into thinking the U.S. is a democracy. But what it is what I told you earlier.
Right.
It's a corporate oligarchy. What is an oligarchy?
I was getting ready to say, yo, you come with these words that Nsoromma be doing oligarchy.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay,
All right. An oligarchy is when you have a state or a country,
right,
that's controlled by a small group of people.
Oh, that's the United States.
Bigger than big, ain't it though?
That's the United States.
That's right.
Yo, Abdul, what's up? Hey, Karen, I see you. What's good?
Yeah.
Karen said she got $11. They approved her for $11 at the state.
Jeez.
What you gonna do with $11 worth of food stamps?
Look.
You gonna get 11, what you call them? 11 Lucy's?
Oh, you can't get no 11
Oh, you can't
Lucy's.
even get Lucy's with it.
No, you can't get 11 Lucy's. You can get 5.
Oh my God.
And look, now see, when you got food stamps, right? You can't get the full amount for the amount of the food stamps. Okay?
Oh, yeah, that's
they,
right.
They give you 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, you're right.
So you can only get 5 Lucy's.
Yo, that is so messy, man. What? And then you turn around and get the white people that go get food stamps. How many kids you got? Oh, we got 9. Oh, that's $900. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's really unfair. And we as American people gotta wake up and start putting our foot down. Start supporting our own and our own black-owned businesses.
Big.
Start keeping our money in our circle for at least 2-3 weeks instead of 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
That's real talk.
That's
brother.
real talk, son.
That's real talk, brother. That's where, and like Nsoromma said, we got to make the dollar circulate.
Right.
And the reason I brought up the brothers on the corner,
Right. I hear you.
is because guess what? I have to tell y'all this in case you didn't know. Compared to Big Pharma, y'all rank amateurs.
Oh, most definitely.
Oh yeah.
You got 2 things, and they got 6,480 of them.
That's what.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and plus they charging more than you.
They damn sure are.
I thought it was when you had the masses, the price go down. No,
Not with Big Pharma.
Big Pharma kill you all the way to the end. You know
That's
what I'm
what
saying?
they do.
That's crazy.
Yes, indeed. WHGE 95.3 FM with Nsoromma and Patrice Gibbs right here on the Advocacy Station.
1-844-944-3953. Hit us up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yo, Abdul, what you saying, baby? Our people are scared of change. And yo, some people scared of change. Not me. I'm ready. You hear me? I'm ready to go. I'm on go. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to do everything to get better, to be a better species. You dig what I'm saying? Ain't no Toby's around here. Except my boy Toby. He gave them things. We ready. We ready for war. We ain't fake soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Almost definitely. Hey, Karen, the reality of the dollar bill is worth nothing. You're absolutely right. And that's the way it go. The dollar ain't worth the paper is printed on. You understand what I'm saying? But they want you to pay your debt. They want you to put everything aside and give them their $10 a month. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't even out of debt.
That's crazy.
You know? That's crazy. That's what's up, though.
That's what's happening.
So what's the plan to get out of that? What's the plan to make the change, to bring the change in effect? Where the ideals at? Send us some ideals. Where they at? What type of change you thinking to make this change? I mean, plan. What type of plan you think it'll take to make a change? You dig me?
WHGE 95.3 FM. It's a little more history here, bro.
Almost definitely. We
Okay.
you know?
Have you ever heard of the Crips?
Yeah, definitely.
Heard of the Bloods?
The Bloods.
Yeah. You heard of the Disciples in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you heard of them. Have you ever heard of the Bowery Boys?
The Bowery Boys?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
How about the Good Rabbits?
No.
How about the Natives?
No.
Yeah, they ain't heard of them, hey.
Nah.
Okay. Well, these were all gangs in the 1800s.
Okay.
In the late 1800s.
Okay.
And they were all white. Okay. These were some of the most vicious gangs that ever populate the streets of America and the slums of America.
And then they all came together and formed the KKK. I got to say. And they all came together and formed the KKK.
Yeah, buddy. You had the Pug Uglies, and I said the Good Rabbits, and what happened. These were gangs in New York. Martin Scorsese made a movie about it.
I seen that Gangs in New York. Did you ever see that?
Yeah,
that was a very serious movie, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yo, it was.
Yeah, it was. Now the reason I bring them up,
why?
Okay, is the New York City draft riots that were in July of 1863.
Okay.
And it was sometimes referred to as the Manhattan draft riots. Okay?
Right.
And it was known as draft week, were violent disturbances in lower Manhattan, widely regarded as the culmination of working class discontent with new laws passed by Congress to draft men to fight in the Civil War.
Right.
Okay? Well, with these Irish and white and know-nothing and native gangs, as they call themselves, they were white people, you know, they looked at this and said, wait a minute, why should we be drafted? Because here was a little caveat that they put in there.
Right.
If you were wealthy, you could pay your way out of the draft.
Oh, yeah, it's money has always been the key. That's why so many people want to get it, because money can get you out of things that you really don't want to be part of.
That's right.
And
you know, well, it started out as, you know, anger at the draft. And, you know, the riots and what have you. It was anger at the draft. But somebody in the crowd, one of them Irishmen said, why should we go fight in the Civil War to make black people free? Boom! Turned into a race riot. They started attacking black people. And one of the worst things they did was to attack and burn down the Colored Orphan Asylum at 44th Street and 5th Avenue. Burned it to the ground. Okay?
I just got mad.
I heard that. I said it was the orphan asylum. That means there were orphan black children. They burned it down and killed hundreds of them. So don't forget who these people are.
No one got charged.
No one got charged.
No one ever get charged when they do things like that. They that's why we got to strap up, man. They don't got to be charged. Leave them where they at. Leave them outside on the ground with that brick in their hand on a throw.
Yep.
Give them the business. I'm
Give
telling
them
you,
the business.
we gotta step up. We gotta arm up, and we gotta be ready to protect ourselves. The fight is coming. It's here. Except you just ain't been uppercutted or hit or stuck or stabbed with it yet. So
But it's here.
be ready, man.
That's
it's
right.
coming to you.
Mm-hmm. Now,
What?
moving on
What?
to something that's close to your heart. All right.
All right.
Okay. And I heard a brother say this today. Have you ever heard of this guy or this little Nas X?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. See, that's the way they degrade strong heterosexual black men, and they trying to turn. Where is the black strong man figure in this society and in this media? Where is he at? They don't even show him. They don't even show the black man that been in the service for the 25 years and got out and taking care of his kids and started his own business up and handling his business with his family, and everything is going smooth and lovely because he's taking care of his business. They don't show him.
No,
They show everything else degradable about a black man when it's dealing with a black man.
Right.
And
Now let me ask you this, brother.
What, bro?
Because I have an opinion on this, I'm going to tell you what happens when you express this opinion. Have you ever heard any of Little Nas X's music?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I mean, I'm not an LGBT, but EGBICTH. I'm not the alphabet dude. I'm the strongest heterosexual man. Back in the day when you said you was gay back in the day, to us, we beat the gayness out of you. I'm just sorry. That's the way I grew up.
Yeah, I heard
it
that.
was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
That's right.
You understand?
Now, in spite of whatever he is sexually, his music is trash.
I mean,
That's the bottom line.
if you ain't talking to me, I'm not even listening to it.
I heard that.
I mean, that's how I can't even tell you if it's trash or not. And
Yeah.
I like all kind of music,
I
but
heard
it's
that.
just.
Well, the 22 seconds that I heard of
You
his
heard
music
22
was,
seconds
I
of
heard
it?
22 seconds,
And
and
he
that
has
was
to
too
have, he
much.
got all the stars on there. He got Megan Thee Stallion. They got the dude, the white guy, the country dude. I mean, Miley Cyrus. I mean, he got like major big names behind him, only because he's not being that strong heterosexual
That's
male, black male that
And if you say you don't like his music, then you're homophobic. That ain't got a damn thing to do with it.
I
Get the
mean-
hell out of here. Yeah, that's right. Now, Tracy Johnson asked,
What?
when rap music began, it was about African black pride, unification, or let's just have a good time. Now much of what you hear is war against one another, disrespecting black women and glorifying self-destructive behavior. What happened?
And when it was created, it wasn't for none of that. It was created for an informational source of awareness so we can know what's going on in the world and talk to ourselves without them knowing what we're talking about.
Right.
And that's what hip hop was all about. The betterness for our community of black people.
Word.
Period. And they took and invaded that and inserted
The
all
crap
kind
that
of-
they made.
Exactly. I mean,
Now, the hip-hop industry is being used to negatively
right.
socially engineer black people.
And they use the top black people that's in there to help do it, and that's ridiculous.
That is.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
know, those self-deprecating titles affect how we think of ourselves. A thought held long enough and repeated enough becomes a belief. A belief becomes your biology. Many black people become the caricatures of the derogatory images and stereotypes that they accept. All right, let's just take Miss Lauryn Hill.
Right.
Okay. Now, when Lauryn Hill single-handedly elevated the image of the black woman to an all-time high, the mind motors within American culture knew they had to do something fast.
Right. And they knew they had to do that fast. You know what I'm saying?
So what they did was they found the perfect solution in a rising young black star from Houston, Texas, named Beyonce Knowles. Lauren had black girls around the world realizing they didn't have to fit into any Hollywood, Madison Avenue, pre-scripted image,
Right.
nor did they have to sell themselves as overly sexualized Jezebels in order to gain attention and appreciation.
Right.
Lauren gave women class, talent, wisdom, and intelligence.
Right. And her talent shines through everything. And that's what you have to understand. If you got the talent, and it's the talent that, I mean, it's a different kind of talent. You got talent that make your hair stand up on your arms and on the back of your neck, and then you got people that can just do what they do. It's a difference. The hair standing on the neck, that's a whole nother thing. You understand? So when you have them kind of skills, I mean, and you coming across as a true American citizen, no color involved in that, and you being that entity, they are not going to like you.
No. So what they did was, like I said, they came up, they had to do something about it. While Lauryn Hill is giving women class, talent, and wisdom,
Right.
Beyonce is teaching girls,
Clap that, throw that back,
Use their
down,
body.
do the straight split. Come here.
yeah,
I mean,
sex and sensuality to gain false power.
you can't.
She gave
You
us
can't knock the
legs.
hustle. She like to dance. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's one thing I don't do. I don't knock nobody hustle because
Yeah.
you know.
But when that
Beyonce
hustle,
did a bunch of things for the people that they don't even say that these people do, man.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta play with the team to get your position to do what you want to do, to shoot that 3-pointer. You know what I'm saying?
Work.
So I mean, whatever it is and however it was for them to get to their position to be able to make moves like they making moves now, they doing big things right now for our people.
that's her.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm gonna
That
say
people
like
don't even
this.
know about.
Even though I'm primarily a jazz fan, but I'm
yeah,
gonna say
yeah.
this to those of you, especially some of you younger people.
Right.
If you know Lil Wayne but you don't know Chuck D, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm sorry you don't know hip hop.
Right.
Because and this is a quote from Dr. Umar Johnson.
Right.
All right. Music can be a very revolutionary force.
Right.
It always has been. When you look at any revolutionary movement, there was music to go with it. Just like music can wake you up, it can also put you to sleep.
Right.
When you come into a community, if you don't know the mental state of the people, all you have to do is listen to the popular music tunes they play.
Right.
All right? What I said earlier, what was the first protest song recorded by a black American? In 1928, Black and Blue by Louis Armstrong. Yeah, that's right. Well, brother, we done ate up this hour again.
We always chew up the time, boy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Smooth was
That's
good.
That's where we always
Implosion in the building.
Digging and big. What's up, Smooth? Yes, sir. Well, let me clear this up before we leave.
Okay, clear it up. Let's see what you
I want to clear up something for y'all.
What?
The 1350th myth. What is that?
The 1350th myth.
Yes. 50% of the violent crime in the United States is committed by black people who represent just 13% of the population. This, of course, is false.
I'm cool. I'm like, yo.
Black people actually constitute 50% of the arrests for violent crime. Because as it turns out, black people are 5 times more likely to be arrested.
Or shot. Or
Or-
killed.
yeah.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
I hear you. Keep going. I'm
6 times more likely to be convicted. 50% more likely to be wrongfully convicted and
Right.
sentenced to 20% more prison time than white people who commit the same damn crimes. All of this while more than 54% of all violent crimes remain unsolved, including 38% of all murders, 48% of all assaults, and more than 67% of all reported rapes. Blacks do not commit more crime, but rather they are disproportionately over-policed, which has led to massive increase in the number of incarcerated black men today, more than 330% proportion to 1960. When black men are incarcerated at such historic numbers, that leaves their wives and girlfriends to raise their children in single mother households, which have increased to 64% as of 2019. We don't have the numbers for 2021 yet. And children raised in single-parent households are statistically less likely to graduate high school and attend college for obvious economic reasons. Now, if you find yourself wondering why black people are over-policed in the first place, it's because the 13th Amendment established that slavery is still a legal punishment for crime in the United States.
Right, so they make you a criminal so they can put you back in slavery.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta understand what he's reading now.
Yep.
You really should be carrying on a conversation while you reading it and breaking down the main meat, main meat of what you're saying. Okay, keep going, brother.
All right. The United States today, coupled with the fact that modern policing emerged from where? The slave patrols.
That's where the police
That's
came
where it
from.
come from.
That's where policing came in existence at.
That's
Go
right.
get that slave and bring her back here.
Yeah.
Dead or alive. We'll give you a nickel.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
See, slavery was never abolished in the United States. It was just rebranded, y'all. Wake up. Wake up. Realize where you at. That's what it is. Well,
Brother Slaughter, us. What's good? I see you.
All right,
Hey, yo,
all right.
you will drop in on us, too.
all right.
Good looking, bro.
Well, actually, we're a little overtime, but that's okay.
Okay, man.
All right. Well, as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. I'm Patrice Gibbs,
I'm Nsoromma
WHGE
95.3
FM.
844-944-3953. Yo, take the number down and remember for next Saturday. You dig? Open Eye Radio Show. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, yo, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Hey, yo, you tuned in today a little late, Slaughter. What's happening? You usually be on us on the gate. Yo, I do. Good looking, man. I'm glad you stayed with us. Vaughn, you know what I mean? Hey, yo, keep supporting, man. We appreciate y'all so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
hey, yo,
indeed.
Mr. Pat, you want to tell them what's up?
Yes, I do.
Cedric, hey, yo, you just popped in, you know what I'm saying? We get ready to roll out now.
That's right.
But I want to thank y'all personally. I'm Nsoromma, the other half of the Open Eye Radio Show. You dig? I appreciate you. Yaga and peace.
All right. And look, if you missed the show, all right, stay tuned on YouTube. Catch the rebroadcast on YouTube. We got you. Don't worry about it. So you can get all that good information we put out there today. All right. Peace.
Yo, you know what it is.
Yes,
Your boy
indeed.
once again says keep your heat up and keep going.